Am I wrong about that?
You asking me?
Anybody, sure. You can evaluate yourself.
Well, one of the things, biggest compliment I ever got, Jim Barnett sat in the dressing room and watched me give finishes. And I would bring the two guys in, and I would immediately separate myself from them by saying, Steve, you got to do a job for Kevin tonight. I wouldn't say that. I would say, Steve, you got to do Kevin a favor tonight. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Well, what's he going to say? If I say you're going to do a job for Kevin, he may have a rebuttal, but he's not going to say, no, I'm not putting Kevin over because I'm doing him a favor. And in turn, that favor should come back sometime. And if it doesn't, it wasn't in the cards. And
Right.
Barnett said, I had never seen anybody put people so much at unease where they had to make the decision.
Right.
I never understood the and I guess I learned early from fucking Scott, because that was the whole thing with Scott is if you take away from fucking creative any if you have if you don't give a fuck about doing a job, that's 80% of what they got. I'll job you out. Go ahead. I'll fucking, Scott would always say, I'll job you out. And Scott would be like, looking for a job when I got this one.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a fuck. I mean, how many guys go out to the ring with Jericho and he's told if I can beat Jericho in 4 minutes and goes 8 minutes and puts Jericho over on Nitro, comes back, gets screamed at by Eric, and he says, just fucking felt right, man. Like obviously you weren't listening to the people. Like they wanted Jericho to go over.
Right. I remember that story. You said he told Eric, he said, you don't know what you have here with this guy, right?
Yeah. Yes. And then, and fucking Jericho was one of those guys that was like Zack Ryder. Matt, like he fucking got himself over. Like when Zack Ryder was the internet champion and he just did everything, and finally they put the Intercontinental Championship on him in New York, and it was like he got himself, like he made it where they had to fucking like put him over, and now he's fucking he's Mr. Independent. I mean, he's got a fucking spot that like nobody can. And he created it. It's like he's the one that knows the formula. He's the mad scientist. Matt has basically made the COVID virus, and nobody's got the antibody yet. So, but I saw that he just went over and took somebody's straps in fucking Japan. So
good for him.
Fuck yeah.
The other thing I can remember about Scott, when you and Scott were on the outs with Eric said to Scott, I'm going to send you to Japan for the rest of your contract.
Poland.
Scott said, oh, thanks. I love Japan.
No, it's Poland. He said, I'll send you motherfuckers to Poland. He goes, we're so fucking over in Poland.